folks, I'm Wayne McGregor with Target Tracker. I'm here today to talk to you about effective low-cost solutions in training. You may know me, you may not know me, but we have the Target Tracker moving target systems. Behind me here is the options that we have. We set up for airsoft training, we set up 2-inch foam board, staple our targets to that are standard paper targets. Over here we have a plastic torso, another foam target, and a steel target. Over here we have a foam target. The reason why we like to use the foam targets is the airsoft BBs will go into them and you can see your immediate shot location, same with paper. But we can also add objects into the foam target's hand. Say a gun, a knife, a badge, camera, taser. What we do with that is basically when we're running drills, we'll have the shooter on a blind side and we'll elevate the target at them and they have to make a snap, quick second decision. Is it a threat or not a threat? One of the main things that I look at is always low-cost solutions. Ourselves personally, the average Joe can't go out, spend $3,000 in ammunition to take a high-rated training class, plus another $1,200 for the course itself. But what you can do is really simple. You can find things in like products that can help you simulate doing what you're doing to make it more realistic each and every time you practice. And here's a solution that we've come across, and I wanted to tell you about it. Right here is one of my carry guns. This is a Smith & Wesson 9mm M&P. Obviously it's unloaded, no magazine. So we'll close that up and holster it, okay? What we run across is we run across this right here. This is a Palco Smith & Wesson 9mm airsoft gun. This gun will shoot 312 feet per second. We did an accuracy test on it, and I want to show you a little bit about what that is. Here's the box that it came in. We shot an accuracy test at 30 feet. Most of the close quarter combat training that we do is going to be 30 feet or closer. Moving targets, charging, stationary targets, we mix them all up. So at 30 feet, we're right here. We're very pleased with the accuracy and authenticity of the realism of the gun. A couple of the nice things that I want to show you about it is exactly like my standard carry Smith & Wesson M&P 9. Feels the same. This is about 1.5 pounds. This is a little heavier, obviously, when you have bullets in the magazine. We do close quarter combat training in day, night, you name it. So we can mount our laser lights on here. It's just like the real gun. The magazines are almost identical other than you load in the BBs here and you shoot the air right in here to charge it. So one of the very, very nice things about that is the feel is the same. So if you want to practice your draw, you want to practice virtually anything the same. So if I want to practice my draw, but I don't want to do it with my firearm, or I'm in a location where I just don't want to handle a loaded weapon. So I can practice my draws exactly the same way, no problem. The nice part about it is the feel and everything is the same. So I can get to my natural aiming position, extend, and I can work on all the fundamentals, typically without firing a shot. So what we're bringing to you today is something totally different and unique to the industry. So what we've done is we basically made this house, and any house that you're at can be turned into a shoot house. If you're talking about home defense, okay, excellent suggestion. You can get into this, it's airsoft, so it's fun to shoot with the kids. You can turn it into a family thing and practice what you would do in case someone broke in, if you had to defend yourself in your home or a loved one in your home. So we have this out there so everyone can get the feel for it, and why not bring your kids up through a respect for firearms, teach them what to do, what not to do for a very low budget. I'm going to let you know right now, I bought 3 boards of the 2-inch foam. I got probably 8-9 different targets throughout this house, and it cost me all of $90 to set it up with the paper targets included. So I can reuse these over and over and over with airsoft. So I can set up here, I can come out and do a training evaluation at your company or your law enforcement division or even in your home to give you private scenarios and training on how to evaluate what you need to do to have a better, more effective plan for home defense, and also for law enforcement and military organizations to be a little bit sharper in their skills. One of the #1 causes right now of, you talk about accidental firearm discharge. You can work on, proper finger placement, keeping it outside the trigger until you're ready to engage the threat. You can practice all of this simply with airsoft. Now, I'm not saying exchange what you do with your firearm for airsoft, because the best way to learn your weapon is to shoot it over and over and over, so it really becomes an extension of your hand. You get so comfortable with it. And that's mainly what most of the trainers do out there. Trainers like Masad, Rob Pincus, they talk about all the fundamentals in a lot of shooting. What we do is a little bit different from the fact that we mainly focus on moving targets. And here's why. We focus on moving targets for the simple fact is, if you have a home invasion, if you're in a gunfight, if you're in combat, if you're a law enforcement officer responding to a bank robbery, there's never a bad guy standing there, not moving, going, I'm right here, shoot me. Everything's moving in a real life engagement. So the other facet to training on stationary targets that we don't do a lot of, and when we do, we have multiple stationary targets because we never keep our focus in one area. What happens if you're sitting there and you're shooting a stationary target over and over and over and over and over, it's not moving, okay? You're developing good fundamentals, trigger, how you handle the recoil of the firearm, and a lot of the basics. But the bottom line is, if you're shooting consistently on stationary targets, it's actually working on developing muscle memory in your eye and tunnel vision. So when you run into those situations where your heart is racing, you're excited, you're in the heat of it, and you've got to respond right now, okay? It's a natural body function that your body might receive tunnel vision. So I always suggest figure out a way, if you can't go out and afford a target tracker right now, figure out a way to keep the targets moving all the time. The more realistic the target, the better off you are to be able to respond to the threat. So if you're shooting paper all the time, okay, there's not a bad guy that looks like a flat piece of paper. That's why we always try to up the realism on everything. Look at our target over here. We've got a shirt on. Everything that we do has dual purposes. Our logo. This is the center mass of the body, okay? When we wear our shirts out, we put them on targets, or we make them for, large events. We'll do 200-300 t-shirts. So each officer, each shooter has their own scoring mechanism. So, basically hats, whatever we can do to dress them up, make them look like a threat. This guy's got a, I don't know the proper terminology for it, but he's got a towel on his head, to make everything look realistic. So to give you an idea, and I'm going to just set this aside right here, the steel targets, if you're IDPA shooters and things like that, you guys love steel, works perfect on the mover. Everything's easily exchangeable. Boom, I can change this out. 2x4 there, plastic target there. You can change it out. If you want to run side to side, you turn it right there just like that and you're all set. Real simple, real easy. And if it's not moving, are you really training is my question. So we're going to show you the fundamentals with airsoft in our makeshift shoot house. Get it on video. We hope you enjoy it. We're going to incorporate a couple different things. We're going to do it as a daytime training exercise. And we're going to shut all the lights off, and we're going to put the laser light on, and we're going to do it as a night exercise. It is day right now, but video cameras have a lot of trouble filming at night unless they have night vision on them. So we're going to try to get it as close as possible to the real thing for you, to give you an idea of exactly the way we train and the way to protect your home and be able to eliminate a threat. Stay tuned. Drop the weapon. Stop, police. Right there is an example of what happens if somebody doesn't comply. They're coming at you with a weapon. So notice that all the shots are right in this section right here. That's the center mass of the body. On this target, it's the K5s. Now I can do that exercise over and over again with airsoft. It's not going to cost me an arm and a leg, and I can still get fluent, still get it. And even with all the target practice and everything that we do, you always get a level of excitement when there's something coming at you. So it's a little bit more realistic effect. And then we're going to do this a couple more times, and then we're going to get into the whole shoot house scenario. So we're just going to practice for a little bit. Stop, drop your weapon. So we can practice that over and over and over until we get that flow, you get the adrenaline, you get your instinctive shooting going. And then after a while, it's just, you don't even think about it. It's just like riding a bike or driving a car. And that's really what we emphasize the most with firearms training, is just the repetitive nature. You build it into your muscle memory, and it's there and you have it. So stay sharp. Stop, please. Notice right here, one shot went in there, one went in the arm. There's another one buried in here. So that would have stopped the threat right there. That's what you want to practice over and over and over. Stop, police. What we have here is all the shots in the center mass location. Aim at me with a knife. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight.